Peace to the family, peace to my comrades, and it's always smoke to the COINTEL Pro Boxing fan. Welcome in, family. What are we talking about today? While the family takes their time getting in, today I want to talk about who is the face of boxing. Is it Terrance Crawford? Is it Floyd Mayweather? And another question I want to pose to you is, are we being hoodwinked again? Are we being tricked, bamboozled? Are they playing on the emotions of the American black boxer and their fan base? We're going to get into all of that today. So come on in, take a seat. Salute to the family. Shelton, LDBC, or Nothing Reloaded. He says that Bud Crawford is the face of boxing. Mayweather is retired. And that, family, is what we're going to be talking about today. Everything is good so far. We got the camera working good. We have the microphone working good. Get a family some time to come in. Please like, subscribe, share the video. In the words of my big brother, we are our own algorithm. And that's a fact. Who is the face of boxing? Is it Bud Crawford now? Is it Floyd Mayweather? Why were the commentators who were bought back by the sport of boxing going so hard against us? What was the job of Max Kellerman last weekend? And do you all see the play at hand? These are things that we must discuss because the fix is in. So right now, as we speak, if you go on Yahoo, if you go on Google, you can see the blogs all over speaking about Floyd Mayweather, teasing the very thought of coming back at almost the age of 50 after his fight with Mike Tyson, fighting one more professional fight. Is Floyd being serious, or is Floyd being a good businessman and using the coattails of the fighting pride of Omaha, Nebraska, Terrance Bud Crawford, and riding his energy, his shine, his win against Canelo Alvarez to tease the world, to promote his exhibition with Mike Tyson? Or the second thing you could ask is the boxing world and what they're saying getting to Floyd? People calling him better than Floyd. Now, we all know the temperament of Floyd Mayweather. We know he don't like nobody to outshine him. So we used to have a saying. We used to say, nobody can beat Floyd but Floyd. But is Floyd's ego going to bring him back for one more showdown? Is Floyd's temperament and his disposition going to force him back into the sport of boxing for a real fight. Salute to my brother. Drew Titan LLC is in the house. We have to ask ourselves this question. Is Floyd Mayweather playing the boxing world again? Or is he serious this time? Floyd Mayweather has had 7 exhibitions since he's gotten out the sport. In almost every exhibition, what does Floyd do? The brother plays on our emotions, on our love for the sport. He makes it seem that he's going to come back. And then we find out it was all just a ploy. It was all just an act. Are we going to fall for it again? Are we going to keep allowing these exhibitions to put a thorn in the side of the sport? So who is the face of boxing? I have another question. Is it really getting to Floyd that Bud Crawford beat Canelo in a way that is making the casuals say Crawford was greater than Floyd, even though Floyd put on a master class? Sheldon LDBC or Nothing Reloaded said, I think he should stay retired. I'm not looking forward to him coming back. My honest opinion is I don't think that Floyd would come back. I think he is using the shine. I think he is using the energy surrounding Bud Crawford right now to promote his fight with Mike Tyson. But there's one thing that's bothering me. Salute Bear Cave Entertainment. Salute Delano is in the house. Now, family, we have to critically think about this one. All of us who know the sport of boxing, all of us who have been around for a while, we know that Floyd Mayweather Jr. does not like people outshining him. And for the first time in a long time, it looks like the greatness of a fighter is going to surpass what Floyd Mayweather has done. So I'm watching Floyd doing this interview put on by it's on TMZ. I'm not sure if they're the owners of the interview, but I know it's on TMZ. And they're asking Floyd, and Floyd said, hey man, you know, I'm about to start training for real, because after the fight with Mike Tyson, I might come back for a real fight. Now, you all know that that's going to play on the heartstrings of not just true boxing fans, but it is going to play on the heartstrings of casuals as well. Floyd Mayweather coming back out of retirement. Y'all already know who we think he's going to fight. Which I can say a lot. But then we have to start asking some hard questions. Who was the last fighter to come back out of retirement at the age 48, 49, almost 50 and be great? Has it been done? Talk to me, family. Has it been done in the sport of boxing? Who do we know? A fighter that took care of their bodies and was able to come back to the sport at that age and be great. Hold on, family. Let me turn the background music down. How old was Bernard Hopkins when he came back to be great? How old was George Foreman when he came back to be great? Talk to me, family. Wake up, wake up, wake up. How old were those men when they came back to be great? Sheldon LDB said, the closest is George Foreman at my age. The brother Drew Titan is asking, out of retirement. Yes, sir. Out of retirement. 48. Family. How old is Floyd Mayweather? Talk to me. How old is Floyd Mayweather? And what fighter has taken better care of their body than Floyd Mayweather? Can you all think of any? What fighter is addicted to the gym like Floyd Mayweather? So if any fighter, y'all not gonna like this because now you're gonna have to think. Now, in the midnight hour, those of you that love the sport of boxing, the things that I am saying to you, you are going to have to deal with in your mind. Like, wait a minute. Coach might be on to something. If you all don't think that it is eating Floyd up, the fact that people all over the world are saying that Bud Crawford is better than Floyd, you're very disillusioned. You're very disillusioned. You see, family, Floyd has an issue with anyone just having the thought. Because see, when Floyd left, Floyd thought nobody's going to come along anytime soon and do anything close to what I've done. But man, one thing about the sport of boxing is crazier things have been done. Divine intervention. Brother Shelton said he could definitely do it. I just don't think he should. I don't think he should either. But we have to look at a man like Floyd, a man like Roy Jones. It's something inside of them that they can't control. There's something inside of them that bothers them in the midnight hour. So let's get into it. I have Brother Drew Titan said it would be his ego getting him destroyed. Exactly. But I have a great blog that I want to share with the family. Let me go here. Hold on, family. I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. OBS. Okay. I know how to do it when I'm doing it from the YouTube thing. All right. Press 1. Press 1 if you can hear me. Press 1 if you can hear me. Press 1 if you can hear me. One's in the chat if you can hear me. One's in the chat if you can hear me. I don't know if I'm having a lag. Okay. All right, family. So this is a great blog by Barrett Media. And this blog, it really goes into what happened last weekend. And I really feel that these type of journalists we have to put in the forefront. I want you to listen to what this journalist wrote. While the night had the feel of the past, the evening also showcased what boxing lacked: attention. The attention that once captured a nation through dynamic personalities was lost in the execution of the evening, only for the commentators' narrative to be welcome to the golden age of boxing. The journalist poses a question: did I miss the memo? Or is this a perfect example of boxing attempting the illusory truth effect? Now, for those of you that don't know what the illusory truth effect is, one of the most wicked men in the history of time who wanted to murder millions of people that he didn't like, he said this. He said, I don't have to tell the people the truth. He said, the only thing I have to do is repeat that lie again and again. So he got his propagandist and he said, these things I want all over, in the newspapers, on our televisions, and I want it to be repeated again and again and again, because the average person only uses about 7% of their brain. And since social media, scientists are saying that percent is getting lower and lower because people no longer have to critically think and think for themselves. So I ask you all a question. What is the purpose of this journalist mentioning the illusory truth effect? Was there a lie being repeated over and over again? And what is the purpose of that lie? Let me go on. The journalist then writes, there's an old saying, if you say something repeatedly, then over time, people will believe it, whether it's truth or not. Saturday night's broadcast of Netflix understood that they would have the eyes of the world on this bout. The team of John A., Andre Ward, and Max K. Kellerman was outstanding in calling the in-ring action of every fight. The analyst from Skipper Kept was on point all evening regarding the scorecards, including the tight windows of opportunity each fighter, blah, blah, blah. There was even a Michael Buffer sighting with his classic, let's get ready to rumble, prior to the main event. The evening had it all for fight fans who hadn't watched the sport for many years. Now, this person is setting the foundation of the night and what happened. All right. They're speaking on the fake veil. Salute, Patrice X is in the house. Now, the journalist is then going to go on to the truth of the matter. Outside the in-ring action, viewers were treated to lectures from Kellerman, who is regarded by many as one of the most knowledgeable people in the sport. He knows its history, he knows its present, but the future tales of what could be from Kellerman left many shaking their heads. Now, this journalist is about to really go in on the truth of the matter. Kellerman is the one who defends the health of the sport when questioned on its vitality. Earlier in the week, Kellerman got into a war of words at the pre-fight press conference. He called Dana White, who was the lead promoter for Canelo versus Crawford, the greatest fight promoter in his lifetime. Let me repeat that. Max Kellerman called Dana White, who was the lead promoter for Canelo versus Crawford, the greatest fight promoter in his lifetime. He then told the crowd that the reason why boxing isn't as popular anymore is because of what White built with the UFC. Before attempting to spin it back to the fight he was promoting, saying White is attempting to do with boxing what he did with the UFC. Then he was interrupted mid-sentence by Canelo Alvarez, who had enough. Now, you all remember who were watching the event when Max Kellerman kept going on about how great the UFC and Dana White was. What did our warrior in the sport of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, say? He said, hold on 1 minute, Max. Let me stop you right there. And if Canelo's English was just a little better, he would have ripped him to shreds. But then our champion, the fighting pride of Omaha, Nebraska, butted in as well and said, that's right. Started backing up his enemy at the time because he has to fight him. But that is his his counterpart in the sport of boxing. That is his contemporary from the other side, but he is a fighter. And this man who we brought back for the biggest event in the last 10 years in the sport of boxing is sitting up here in front of the world praising Dana White and the UFC over the sport of boxing. The journalist goes on. He was interrupted mid-sentence by Canelo Alvarez defending the sport of boxing as bigger than big. Talk about an uncomfortable situation created by Kellerman speaking the truth about why boxing is not the sport it once was. There can be debates about the health of the sport, but the single biggest draw outside of what happened Saturday night has been any fight Jake Paul has been involved with. That should tell you all you need to know about the health of the sport right there. Now, in this part of the article, the journalist is pointing out to everyone how these exhibitions have been bigger draws than the main events of real boxing. And all of us have been ringing the alarm. But anytime the smaller content creators, especially those from the black community, point these things out, they like to act like they don't hear what we're saying. And I wouldn't be surprised if many of them were in our chats repeating our talking points. Regardless, you could tell Kellerman was trying to save his skin on Saturday night in his commentary regarding the health of the sport following the end of the main event. With tears in his eyes, Kellerman called Terrance Crawford the Michael Jordan of his era in the sport. Now, that is what the journalist seen. This journalist. I don't believe he had tears in his eyes for that reason, but let me go on. Because he didn't look happy at all, but that can be a topic for another time, because I need to get to Floyd Mayweather. If 5 fights in 5 years make you the Air Jordan of the sport, what was the top memory of it for the sports audience? I'll wait for your responses. Then Kellerman went on to say that the hope of the Canelo versus Crawford event would be the moment that kicked off a golden era of boxing. He credited Saudi promoter Turki Al-Sheikh for having the resources to make events like Canelo versus Crawford happen. He then spun it back to Dana White and how he built the UFC into a massive success. Kellerman closed his thoughts by crediting Nick Khan of WWE and the global platform of Netflix for starting a new era in the sport of boxing. It's a weird dichotomy for Kellerman to state in one sentence that the UFC has taken the shine off the sport of boxing, only to say days later that Saturday night is the kickoff of the golden age of boxing. I will stop right there. Now y'all know what time it is. We got to cook on this. Let me read that sentence again so you all can think on this yourselves. It's a weird dichotomy for Kellerman to state in one sentence that the UFC has taken the shine off the sport of boxing, only to say days later that Saturday night is the kickoff of the golden age of boxing. Family, it wasn't days later, it was the next day. It wasn't days later, it was the next day. So is this a truth teller? Is this a real ally? Or is this someone with alternative motives? Now, we're going to get to Floyd in a second, but I have to lay the foundation of a few things before we get to asking, well, who really is the face of boxing? It's time to cook. How can a man say one thing on Friday, and then when Bud Crawford wins and he puts on a masterclass, you change and say Saturday night kicks off the golden age of boxing? Max Kellerman, you should be quiet. Max Kellerman, you should be apologizing to the boxing world who supported you over and over again, who followed you when HBO got rid of you and HBO started to fail. We followed you and supported you when you went to ESPN. Double-minded, double-tongued. I've been saying that term since last year to point out to all of you what we're dealing with. We are dealing with a liar. We are dealing with someone who is part of the good old boy system that plans on derailing our sport. And they don't give a damn. Some of y'all not gonna like this, but they don't give a damn about the black American fan, the black American boxer, or the Mexican boxing fan, or their fighters. This is about power. This is about the gentrification of the sport. And if you all do not wake up, it's going to happen right in front of you. I'm going to tell you what the plan was. If Canelo would have beaten Crawford, whatever the secret was that Turkey wanted Dana White to announce, I promise you it had something to do with why Max Kellerman and Dana White had that sour ass look on their face. It's different when a person has tears in their eyes and they're saying, my God, he really is one of the greatest. Like when Ali came back after being off for 3 years for standing up for what he believed in. And people saw him beat George Foreman in the fashion he beat him. People had tears in their eyes, but they were tears of joy, with chants in the background. Ali Boombaye. Ali Boombaye. He must be the greatest. He must be the greatest. They were not those kind of tears. So what was the motive? And what are we dealing with? Earlier we talked about the illusory effect. When you repeat a lie enough, a person begins to believe it. So who really is the face of boxing? Is it Floyd or is it Crawford? Is it Floyd or is it Crawford? Now, some of you might be saying it has to be Crawford because of what he just did. Excuse me, family. Give me 1 second. Got to grab my food. Back, y'all. Now, all over social media, who are they talking about right now? They're not talking about Crawford anymore. Since Floyd announced last night that he is thinking about coming back for a real professional fight after he fights Mike Tyson, all of the blogs are talking about Floyd right now. Do you all think that it's on accident? Floyd does nothing on accident when it comes to the sport of boxing and what he says in these interviews. He hates when people outshine him, or it looks like they are on a path to outshine him. How do we know, Coach? If that situation with Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney did not open your eyes to who Floyd is inside of his heart as a fighter and as a black man, then you need to open your eyes a little bit more. When a man goes out of his way to make sure that an altered version of a sparring match goes out, and instead of helping a young brother who he saw come up in his gym and bitter because he refused to sign with him, that says a lot on the kind of brother he is. Sheldon LDBC said, Floyd just being a hater. Exactly. But listen, family, I'm going to tell you all something. It's getting to Floyd. It's getting to Floyd the fact that he is hearing that somebody is greater than him. Floyd has only been retired since 2017. He never would have thought that in the next almost decade, they will be calling another fighter better than him. But who is the face of boxing? And to Max Kellerman's point, Max said that Mexicans ran the sport of boxing and was saving the sport of boxing. Is Floyd Mayweather Mexican? Is Mike Tyson Mexican? Is Bud Crawford Mexican? So the disrespect that he gave us should have been a reason for Max Kellerman to apologize. I keep telling you all he is not our ally. Now let me ask you all this question to the critical thinkers in the chat. Now we know what an ally is. We talk about allies a lot. An ally is someone who is prepared to give their life or livelihood to fight the same cause that you're trying to stand for. Now, if Max Kellerman is supposed to be an ally to the sport of boxing, what was his motive behind praising Dana White and the UFC? What was his motive the first few rounds of trying to paint the picture that Bud Crawford would not be able to take Canelo's punch? What was Max Kellerman's motive to call Bud Crawford the villain during the grand arrival? What was Max Kellerman's motive when he disrespected Canelo Alvarez during the press conference? Is he an ally? Patrice X said Floyd tried to schedule an exhibition on the same day as a Haney fight too. That is a fact. That is a fact. So who is the face of boxing? Because when Floyd says anything regarding or even a rumor that it looks like he's going to come back, whether people just want one more chance to see him lose or people want to see him be great again, if he just whispers the rumor, the sports world goes crazy. And why is the push not being behind the fighters who are present like this? Right now, Billy and Martinez should be getting way more praise than they're getting. That is the irrefutable truth. Because as great as Crawford versus Canelo was, Billy versus Martinez could be up for fight of the year. But why are these warriors not getting the praise they should be getting from these blogs? Who's behind these blogs and these mainstream talking heads? And what is their motive? I ask you again, who is the face of boxing? Floyd Mayweather or Bud Crawford? Or another question should be is, what is the motives behind the ones who is pushing the illusory effect? The illusory effect. to repeat something again and again until your brain takes it as the truth. Who is the face of boxing? Bud Crawford or Floyd Mayweather? And why is that conversation being forced now? When Usyk beat Fury, nobody said, who's better now, Usyk or Fury? They just praised Usyk. Is that right? Am I telling you a lie? Patrice X says Max's motive is to do whatever Dana tells him so Max can be assigned to whatever the surprise Dana has to announce. Now let me cook on that for a second, because Patrice X is on the vibration and understands what's going on. I guarantee you Max knows whatever the announcement was supposed to be. I guarantee you Max's motive was to make sure that whatever Netflix, TKO, Dana White, Turkey, whatever they're about to do, Max is making sure he's going to have a job. Max was making sure that he paints that narrative and shows them that he's going to be a safe, good old boy and part of that good old boy system. And I know some of you love Max. You love his days at HBO, and that's fine. He ain't no ally of ours. I'm telling you now, he is not an ally. And what he showed last week is that he can be bought. Teddy Atlas should have been at that table, at the main table. Teddy Atlas should have been at the ringside table, but Teddy Atlas is still being punished for something he said years ago when he was off of code, when he was off of the good old boy code. Stormy B-Man, the sensei, says because they have a counterproductive agenda against black fighters, so the dominance be stifled. The dominance has been so consistent, they've come up with ways of using figures who aren't worth following. And these figures are so dangerous because when they take a UFC commentator and they put them right next to Max, he runs circles around Max Kellerman. See, we have gotten enforced to be okay with mediocrity. I keep trying to tell you all, Max Kellerman ain't no damn Howard Cosell. He ain't even a Jim Lampley. He uses other people to bounce off of and uses his great knowledge of the English language and eloquently uses his words to make him seem smart, to make him seem intelligent. And he might be smart, he might be intelligent, but he is practicing deceptive intelligence every chance he gets. But this ain't about Max. What's going on with Floyd? Is Floyd using Bud Crawford and the sting that Bud Crawford has right now to promote the exhibition between him and Mike Tyson? Or is Floyd Mayweather thinking about doing what Bernard Hopkins did, thinking about doing what George Foreman did, and in his late 40s thinking about coming back for one more showdown? The next few months is going to give us the answer. Delano said they always former fighters around him to check him. So family, I know a lot of the truth tellers are going to be going live today. And the things that I've told you, I hope it turns on the light bulb and you start asking yourself these questions. What are the motives of the so-called people who are saying this starts a new golden age for the sport of boxing? How come it wasn't a new golden age when Haney and Loma went to war? How come it wasn't a new golden age when Usyk made history and became the undisputed heavyweight champion? That is going to go down in heavyweight history. They didn't say it was a new golden age then. So what the hell is going on? They have alternative motives. Patrice X said Floyd's jealousy is going to walk him into getting knocked out. Facts. His ego. Floyd has no flaws in the ring. Floyd has no flaws in the ring, and this is what I mean. If you think that you got something figured out with Floyd, he's going to go to his corner, he's going to figure it out, he's going to come back. He has, I believe, the highest boxing IQ in the history of the sport. I do believe that. But his flaw is his ego. His ego is going to get him in trouble. And if he does come back and he does something great, he will still be a great fighter. But it will not derail what Terrance Bud Crawford just did. Family, I thank you. I thank you for joining. That's right, Patrice X. That would be a exhibition that's worth seeing. But to be honest with you, I want these exhibitions to die. I want real boxing to be at the top. And exhibitions just be something fun to do. Not exhibitions being the highest grossing draws, the highest grossing events we're having when real boxers are still fighting. It's a slap in our faces. Patrice X said, how come it wasn't the golden age when Turkey started making the big fights? Because it's not a golden age to them till a white man is in charge. Who is that white man that Max Kellerman was praising over and over again? It was Dana White. And regardless if you're white, black, or brown, if you've been in America long enough, you understand the good old boy system. And if you don't, you better wake up. Because Max Kellerman has been bought and paid for. He is no longer an ally of the sport, which honestly, I never felt he really was one. But family, if anything I said turned on a light bulb for you, please like, subscribe, please share the video. I'm still trying to figure out how to get my views on my laptop the way it is on my mobile device. Eventually, we're going to get there, but we're going to keep cooking with this high quality sound, this noise canceling microphone that Patrice X, my brother, helped me. Give a shout out to all of the brothers. Shout out to my brother Drew Titan, who put the idea in my head. All of this that you see, it all starts up here in the mind. And when you see it and you decide to bring it into existence from your mind, from up here, the idea, you are doing God's work. You are manifesting something in your consciousness into a physical reality. So this channel and the truth that is being told was manifested by other truth tellers who told me to pick up my arms and join us. Patrice X, you see as we in there, the mic worked all the way to the end. But family, I got to eat, and we're gonna cook some more later on in the week. All of the truth tellers, you all go live today, I'll be there. My brother Drew, my brother Stormy B-Man, of course, my queen of boxing media, my number one comrade, Sugar Free Mars, will be going live today, and I know she's going to cook with hot grease. Shout out to all the truth tellers. Peace to my comrades. Peace to the family, and it's always smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fans. Shout out to you all, family. And God bless every single one of you. Salute.